video, I want to discuss the attitude you need to take in order to win your property tax appeals. Now, when I started this well over a dozen years ago, I don't remember the exact year, tax appeals I felt were a little bit easier. But as the years have progressed on, especially as of last year in 2025, where HB 581 made it more difficult to get your 299C value freeze, I think that having the right attitude is more important than ever. And what I mean by having the right attitude has to do with sort of the gumption, having a certain daring, a certain determination to get through the tax appeal process. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. For a lot of people, for a variety of reasons, some of it valid, some of it not, people are intimidated by the tax appeal process. And I've done my best to provide charts. I've written a book and diagrams to help educate the public how to go through the tax appeal. For me, it's a mission. And the reason why this mission is important to me, I really think that these assessments they're extremely flawed. The mass appraisal system is just a disaster. And I know why it exists, and it's a necessary evil. But if you are not on your toes, you are going to pay far more property taxes than you will ever expect. Now, I've run into people over the years, and the approach they take is they want to use the data, they want to use formulas and so forth in order to appeal their valuations. And I have no problems whatsoever using that approach. However, what people don't understand is the tax appeal system is not done through a computerized system. It's actually done by people, and there are judgments being made regarding these values. And I will tell you from personal experience, people can be swayed, people can be influenced because there is no specific formula. Now, I understand there are people, they tend to believe that everything is about formulas, and that's their right. You know, everyone can do the appeals any way they want, okay? I don't have a dog in the fight. If you want to use a formula-based thing and you want to use a computerized system and you want to be hands-off, that's entirely up to you. But I'm all about winning. And yes, you got to get your hands a little bit dirty. And I do think you have to engage. Over time, I've had friends and associates who have, over time, because of their own experiences, they quickly realize, oh my gosh, this is not what they expected. And they find out that there's so many human level decisions that get made during the tax appeal process. And so they get to see how the sausage is made. Now, one of the things that I think that in order for you to win your tax appeal, and what I mean by winning your tax appeal is getting a value reduction and getting your 299C value freeze, is have determination, see the process through. And actually, you have to have a certain amount of patience because most of the time you're just doing a lot of waiting. You're waiting from one deadline to another. Okay, you got to stay the course. Another thing that I think people need to do is you got to be able to have a little bit of a backbone. I know it's easier said than done, but honestly, to this day, I still get intimidated because I'm a little guy, right? I'm a single guy and I'm doing it myself and I'm going through the tax appeal system, and the tax assessor's office has the power of the government and they have their computerized system, right? They know the rules and they honestly can make up BS arguments that you may or may not know if it's a BS argument. There is a certain amount of truth is that you are going up against the system. But I will tell you, when it comes to smaller counties like rural counties, the tax assessor's office is like maybe 2 people, sometimes 3 people. And you got Fulton County, they may have, I'm guessing, 100 or 200 people. I don't know. All I'm saying is you need to look at the county that you're in to make the determination of who you're going up against. But just remember, at any given moment, as you go through the tax appeal process, is that you're dealing with 1 or 2 people, no matter how big the tax assessor's office is. Another thing in having the attitude is you got to go the distance. Now, for me, for the longest time, I would always encourage people to settle with the tax assessor's office. In other words, prior to the BOE hearing, reach out to them, let's have a conversation, and generally you could resolve many appeals that way. But there are times that you would have to go through the BOE hearing, especially those counties that refused to give you a 299C value freeze, and they made you go through the entire process. And I find that very annoying. But it happens. You have to bend with it. But now I will tell you, as I make this video in March of 2026, everyone should incorporate the settlement conference as part of the process. The reason why I feel so strongly is it's very easy. So after the BOE hearing, within 30 days, you need to issue your notice to appeal the Superior Court. But you're not actually going to appeal the Superior Court, at least not immediately. What you're trying to do is get to the settlement conference. And they typically schedule it 45 days after you've issued your written notice. And so to me, that is a mandatory part. And I encourage people to do it only because I'm seeing more and more evidence, because I get reports from people from various counties that they're getting more aggressive in pushing taxpayers back, which I think is a little bit disproportional in the fact that statewide, it's still a very small amount of people who actually engage in property tax appeals. But I don't want to digress any. So you need to incorporate the appeal to Superior Court. But this is part of what I call the end game. As I make this video in 2026, going forward, a lot of my efforts is uncovering and creating strategies for the end game. Because it is the very end, this is the part where the system, where the tax assessor's office weaponizes your ignorance against you. And I'm sick of it. I am sick of the tax assessor's office weaponizing the system. Because what a lot of them are trying to do is they're trying to jack up the valuation. Now, to be fair, some valuation increases are correct, okay? I mean, you can't deny in many areas that values are going up, but there are many areas that are flat. There are many properties that are not in ideal good shape, right? But they're going to try to try to increase the valuations, and I won't stand for it. And the way I'm fighting back is just knowing the rules, being firm, having the right attitude. And I think you should too. If you need encouragement, I suggest you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that like button to help spread this video so we can get more people to appeal their property tax. There is strength in numbers. There is strength in numbers. And the only way we can get control is to file more appeals. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.